So this is number 4 on activity 4? Yeah. So this is number 4. I just picked a random question. But remember, first step is you want to factor the denominator. So I'm just going to erase the act 4. So x minus 1 can't really be factored, so we just leave it as it is. But remember, x squared minus 1 is a difference of square, right? Because 1 times 1 equals 1, so it's a difference of square. So this would be factored into x, or I'll just rewrite the whole thing under. So you're going to bring down the old one because you can't factor it. There's nothing to change. But this is a difference of square. So it becomes x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, that's what we have so far. After you factored it, you have to state the non-permissible value. So this is x minus 1, so it's at minus 1. To make it 0, it'd have to be plus 1, right? Or if that doesn't make sense, another thing you can do is you take this into this and you make it equal to 0 and you solve for x. So it'll give you x equals 1 because you add the 1, cancel it out, and you add it on the other side. So that's how you can find the non-permissible value, if that kind of helps. So we've done x minus 1 gives you plus 1 as a non-permissible value. It's also here, so we don't have to do it again. But I noticed that there's also an x plus 1. So you can do the little step, x plus 1 equals 0. Isolate the x, minus 1, cancel it out. You're left with x equals minus 1. So essentially, the non-permissible value is plus or minus 1, or you can write it as plus 1, comma, minus 1. So yeah, either works. Box your NPV, and then once you found your NPV, you want to find your LCD, your lowest common denominator. Okay. So she was talking about the little method about how if they're the same, you add them. If it's different, you still add it. So I'll kind of do that. I don't really know how to explain it the best, but yeah. So essentially, if you were to cover, I only have one hand, but if you were to cover the x minus 1, they're both the same. There's 2 of them. So you'd put it in the LCD. So then after you cover the both of them, and then you have the x minus 1, x minus 1. If you were to cover these two, the x minus 1 and the x minus 1, you're left with the x plus 1. So you have to add it. I really don't know how to explain LCD. This is the best way I could explain it, but this is what she kind of taught in class. So yeah, the LCD is x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay? Bet. So remember the rule. In order to add a fraction, the denominators have to be the same. So let's look at the first one. We don't have to multiply the numerator by anything because the denominator is the LCD for this one. So we can just bring it down. Okay. Okay. So for this one, this is x minus 1 for this fraction, and the LCD has x minus 1. So if it has it, all you really have to do is multiply the numerator and denominator by the x plus 1. So essentially, I'm going to do it in a different color. You're multiplying by x plus 1 to make the numerators match. Remember beforehand, it had the x minus 1. The x minus 1 is in the LCD, but it's missing the x plus 1, which is what we multiplied the numerator and the denominator by once we brought it down. For instance, we left this alone. We left it as it is because it has the LCD x minus 1, x plus 1. This just had the x minus 1 and not the x plus 1. So in this case, we'd multiply the x plus 1 in the numerator and the denominator. We don't have to multiply it by the x minus 1 as well because the x minus 1 is already there. So after this, once you have these two, you can just leave it as one like common denominator. So x minus 1, x plus 1, and then you're going to put your values 3 plus x plus 1. So this step you're going to distribute. So I'm just going to do it on the side. X to x gives you x squared. X times 1 gives you x. So yeah, that's it. This is the same thing I just did here. It's the same thing here. So I'm just gonna add. I'm just gonna write this value instead. So essentially, this is your final answer because the denominators are the same. If you feel comfortable, you can put 1x if it helps you, but me personally, I don't really do that. But if it helps you, go ahead. Just go on and do that. But this is your final answer. And once you have your final answer, you're going to state the non-permissible value again. So it's still the same thing. X cannot equal plus or minus 1, and then you box it. That's number 4.